Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome back to another part of why we play the game. Today's topic is going to be a little harsh on some ears, but I hadn't really thought about it until recently that such a thing could be a thing. That there are, in fact, liars, cheaters, and thieves at our gaming tables. To me, the concept was not entirely unheard of. I had to deal with people doing these things at my gaming table in the past, but it's been such a long time since I really had to deal with it. But someone said something the other day. I forget who it was, but the notion of we're all guilty of telling tall tales and saying things that aren't entirely 100% true. Those little white lies and those, embellishments. But at the gaming table, I'm going to have to say that I want everyone to be brutally honest. Not when we're talking about off the table antics and life experiences and things like that. For the most part, I take all of that with a grain of salt. But when it comes to gaming at the table, we've all agreed to go into a game as equals for the most part. There should be no reason for it. And as the man in black from The Princess Bride said, we are men of action. Lies do not become us. For me, I've held on to that notion and tried to keep it in my heart since I heard it. For me, it spoke to me and summed up everything that I believe in when it comes to being a hero, which is something I'm going to talk about tomorrow in my next episode. But there really should be no reason for it. We're only lying to ourselves or cheating our friends at the table, and that will segue into cheating. There's a lot of different ways I suppose you could cheat at our tabletop. Most common, I think, is fudging die rolls. And if you are someone who does that, you're only cheating yourself. Do you really think that this one die roll is going to make or break everything? Now, I understand if it's a save versus death, and if you fail, you die. But so you basically want to play a game where you can never die, so you're willing to fudge that roll every single time to just keep on playing? Well, then you've already lost. The old expression, cheaters never win and winners never cheat, couldn't be more appropriate than at our gaming table, a game that's already got enough issues in the real world. People not being able to get along, addition wars and all that crap. Why cheat your friends at the gaming table to a real legitimate experience of gaming if you're just going to fudge the rolls? And this goes on both sides of the table. Now with the DM, we're allowed to do things to a certain extent, and it gets really, really dicey when it comes to fudging die rolls behind the DM screen. And I'm not entirely certain how I feel about that. I know that at any moment you can change things, but I think in your heart when you're doing it, if you are in fact cheating. And if you are, you're cheating yourself and the players at the same time. And I just don't do it. And if you're a player and you get caught, you might as well just leave the table, as far as I'm concerned. If I were to ever catch someone doing that, I wouldn't play with you again. I don't know if I would even want to associate myself with you. And I'm not calling anybody out because I play online now, so I have no idea if someone is or isn't fudging a die roll. But if I were to ever find that out, while I may still associate with you because of other types of friendships, know that I would never trust you with anything ever again. With that said, let's move on to stealing and thieves. I joke about only your friends steal your books. Well, while I believe that wholeheartedly from experience, I also know that when you let people into your house, there's always that chance that someone's just going to see something, put it in their pocket, and pretend like it never happened, and add it to their treasure trove of ill-gotten goods, dice, miniatures, books, all kinds of gaming materials. But sometimes other things have turned up missing when I've invited people into my home, and that's why we don't do that. We have a lot of things that may not seem like they're super valuable, but the memories tied to an item, whether it be a six-sided die or a miniature or a tchotchke on a mantelpiece or anything like that, it's not just the value of the item where you might justify to yourself being the thief. Oh, you can replace it, it's no big deal. No. Every single thing I own, I've gone out of my way to own it. And that alone makes it more valuable than anything you could possibly imagine. That little tiny thing, that big thing, whatever it is, has become part of my life. Not to mention all the time I will waste obsessively, compulsively scouring through my house to find said item. I'll eventually figure out that it could only have been X person who walked off with that item, and you'll never walk back into my house. You'll never walk back into my gaming table. You'll never walk back into my life as anything other than someone I will not trust. So, folks out there, times are tough as it is right now, and they're only going to get tougher, and in the next week or so, things are going to get really strange and really difficult. So, I'm asking you guys out there to try to be more of the hero that you profess to play or try to play. Maybe you don't like playing the hero. Well, then maybe we shouldn't be friends. If you only want to play the bad guy, I'm going to have to wonder what you're like in real life. Are you the guy I can't trust around my family, my kids, my possessions, my time? I really don't want to deal with that kind of doubt in my life. And last night when we were talking about thieves and rogues, the old expression, there's no honor among thieves, reminded me of what I wanted to say in this video. Not only is there no honor among thieves, there's no honor in thieves. There is no reason in today's society where you need to be taking anything that you can't afford or that you just would rather not pay for. And if you're that kind of person, you got to ask yourself why. Because I'm going to, when I find out, I'm going to ask why are you, what went wrong in your life? Where do you think you have the right to take something from somebody else, whether it be their possessions, their time, or their trust? I just don't have any more compassion or time to tolerate such behavior. So if we're gaming together, be on your best behavior, because I will leave the table. I will not come back, and I will not associate with people who do these things. I just don't have the time or the patience. Maybe it's because I'm getting up there in years. Maybe it's because I have so much to lose and so much I've worked for. And like Barron always says, time is a finite commodity. And unlike most of you out there, I probably have less than the average person. You know, I'm over 50, so, you know, depending on, you know, the current formula, you know, I've got 25% to 10%, 30%, whatever left in my life, and I'll be damned if I'm going to spend it worrying about people I can't trust. So I hope you guys will take this to heart, and for those of you who this does not apply to, good on you. You guys are the people I want to hang out with. You guys are the people I want to have in my life, and you people are going to be the ones I am going to hope and pray for at every turn in your life. You guys are going to be the guys I'm rooting for in whatever you do, and I hope nothing but the best. Until next time, happy trails.